the music on. Normally, when we end the show, we want to look at who our Black Rasslers of the week is, because normally there's somebody doing something and we want to give somebody their flowers. But seeing that it's the last show of the year, we wanted to do things a little different. In the past, we've done awards, we've done conversations about, the biggest Black storylines going on in the world. But this year, I just want to know who your Black Rasslers of the year are. But because again, it's a year-end show. Shouts to Brother Fave. Shouts to the conversation we had. We're doing it a little different. Everybody's giving 3 picks. Mm-hmm. You're giving your, I guess we want to say your mainstream Black Rassler of the year. You want to give your indie Black Rassler of the year, and then we've got a runner-up.
No.
Well,
the melanin deficient runner-up.
There you go. That's facts. There's a melanin deficient runner-up.
White.
Not necessarily.
That's what I was about to ask. Was that not correct?
I get you'd have to look up the definition of melanin, and then see how deficient the superstar you want.
Just means not enough. It don't mean you completely
lacking, right?
Mm-hmm. This clearly means he didn't do his homework.
I did. I sent my shit in.
I have
them glasses he had on earlier. Definitely did their homework.
I have everybody's picks, so everybody gave their picks, and I think, as usual,
where you going, Tommy?
Let me get situated right here. I think we're gonna have Mimi go first, if that's all right with you, Mimi.
Hey, Kelly
Pearson with the, oh my gosh.
No, I'm not shouting out the.
Yeah,
no, shouts to Kelly Pearson. Shouts to Kelly Pearson. Appreciate you always. I don't know what she said.
Throwing it back. Throwing it back. Hey.
I don't know nothing about none of that.
Oh gosh.
This nigga.
Throw it back.
Shut up, Cal.
Throw it back.
Making sure. Yeah, I'm just glad I got everything sorted out. So
that wasn't accurate. The second one isn't accurate, but that's cool.
Well, who's the second?
I sent it to you.
Send me your second one. Send me your second one in the chat again. I thought I had it all. This isn't. I messed up another one. Apparently.
We almost have it all.
Just let me know, because we're gonna have Mimi go first, and in the meantime,
that sounds like the church lady version, like she rock herself when she said, "Here we are." My Lord.
Hallelujah.
Take your time.
My Black Rassler of the year is someone that has showed constant progression. I'm going to take it back 2 years ago where everybody was like, he should go to the main roster. He's next up. And I was like, no, I think he should stay behind. I don't think he's ready. And I was not completely sold, because I remember he was going into a program with Hit Row, I think it was, way back when. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know who he was, but I thought, oh, he looks different, and he looks like he's like eager. But I didn't really know who he was. And I, Christian Casanova, that's what it was, Casanova, right? So I was just like, I don't know who he is, but, it seemed like they were pushing him, and I felt like that they were giving him sort of kind of the Bianca Belair treatment a little bit. And I didn't think he was going to be up to the task, because by the time Dallas came, I felt like he still wasn't ready. And at that point, it'd been 2 years, I think, because Hit Row was gone for a while. And then and I wasn't really watching NXT. So then when I started watching NXT back, and I started watching his progression and seeing how he's grown as a man, one, And I will say this: I take my fandom and my liking to a wrestler how I engage with him outside of the product.
Mhm.
And I will say he is a gentleman. Like, his mother has to be super, super proud of him, because I've never seen him. And maybe, people don't always show you their true colors, but I feel like every time he's outside, he's always on his best behavior, and it's not forced. It feels natural. So as a mom, I have to say that, like, I just feel like he's a good kid,
A good
and
dude.
he's super talented, and he shows that he's versatile, and he's up for the task. And I was wrong, and that's Carmelo Hayes.
You don't miss.
He don't miss.
He don't miss at all.
Fucking miss.
Literally lives up to the Monarch.
No, I love it. I actually love it. He's one of them. It's one of those things where I remember seeing him get this win, this
Mhm.
NXT title win over Mania, and
Mhm.
thinking, oh shit, that like maybe he's about to be going to that roster next. He was just on SmackDown, but no, like you said, Mimi, him marinating on NXT, you've been able to really see the full.
That's right. That's
full
right. And
360.
I don't just like anybody just because. I like people for everything that they're about, and I just feel like he is homegrown. Like, you almost forget that he had a little bit of an indie run,
Right.
legitimately, because
Mhm.
he grasped everything. Like, he's just media trained, like, perfectly. He knows how to pick. Like, he's good. He's good. He don't miss. He's a superstar. Period.
Now, who's your next choice?
Or did you want me? Did you want to stay in
Or
the?
do we want to go through everybody?
Yeah,
Do
let's
their
go
first?
through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
bet.
way, ain't nobody out there on their own. So for me, I chose a young lady this year because I feel like I saw something. Like, we all like wrestlers are successful for different things, right? How they come across on TV, um, what they've done on in ring, how many great matches they've had, how many championships. The one thing we also talk about with great pro wrestlers is their part of the expression, their impact, right? The thing they did toward the year that affected whatever place they were in, and we saw it. So I chose Trinity Fatu because she was easily the biggest star in that company for a great deal of this year. And I've never seen a Black woman be the biggest star in a pro wrestling company ever, right? So it was amazing to, from what she had to really endure and go through, and then the speculation in between time, and then her popping up over an Impact by herself, not associated with anyone, and she's over there, and immediately she's the biggest deal there. So watching her be, in a year where Jade Cargill is the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest stories that happened during the year, in a year where we saw Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, become some of the biggest story, but then end up, with her injury situation and her moving around. It was great to see there was another option with Black women, and allowing her to be successful somewhere and being the biggest deal there. So yeah, man, shout out to her, man. That's my Black Wrestler of the year.
Indeed. That's been another one that I've loved to see. And again, feeling the potential and wanting. We've had a lot of conversations about Trinity, especially off air, and the desire to really see her take it to that next level.
That's
in a
right.
space where she really has the ability to spread her wings and get creative.
That's right.
Brother Math, did you want to?
Mine is a little bit different. My pick
Talk
is
about
a little bit different, obviously. Because this year I watched somebody use I'm gonna say they used they took the Master P route
it.
when they were heavily moving real heavy in the independent scene, so much that it made you notice. It made you take notice. You might not have been checking for it, but you knew what it was.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When you see matches with Mike Bailey, when you see matches with Orange Cassidy, when somebody who makes enough noise that you have to, like somebody has to put it out there. They have to go back and drop old matches. That, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember my man's name from Impact Wrestling, the champion, but you have to go back and watch the independents are dropping these main event matches that they have because this person is bubbling so much
Right now.
I'm talking about Brian Keith, the bounty hunter. If you don't know, his name is at like it is boiling
Mm-hmm.
to the point where you're now seeing them in backstage segments with AEW. Like I said before, you see him in a match with Orange Cassidy. He's had tag matches on Rampage. This is how you work. If you feel like you're not getting this is how you work. You make people take notice, and that's what he did. He took it. He went out there and he took it. This is his fucking year. I don't know if there is another independent whose name is as big as as Brian Keith is this year. So he is my Black Rassler of the year.
I love it. Before I get into mine, I did want to shout out Antoine Colvin for the super chat as always. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the love for real always. That's hometown too. You know the vibe. For my Black Rassler Week, it's funny to hear, or Black Rassler of the Year, it's funny to hear some of the things that you guys are saying about the people that you're showing love to, because I feel the same way about this individual. It's someone who has been on that stage numerous times, and they feel like they're getting to that door, and they're actually taking some of y'all's favorites and exposing why he's really got their card every time. For some reason 2023 wasn't Ricky Starks' year, but I feel like it should have been. He's currently a tag team champion. He probably, if the cards went right, he should have been beefing with, he should have had a really ill Punk program at some point. They probably could have done a little bit more with the Danielson situation that he had, and all that. Danielson damn sure understood what time it was at that point. But my thing with Ricky Starks has always been that he's taken what he said. What Stephen King, right? He taken his shit and turned it into shinola, whatever you want to call it. Like, he turned chicken shit into chicken salad every week. If you got people like Chris, he did that. He beat Chris Jericho early this year, and then Chris Jericho had to sit there and try and go back and forth with him on the mic after he already punked Adam Copeland and get his shit checked in the ring as well. So once they figure out what to do with the absolute Ricky Starks, I feel like they really got something on their hands. But until then, he's just going to be the neighborhood legend every damn week, regardless of who's on the ring, other side of that ring against him.
Why is he dressed like AJ Styles in that picture?
I think he was this. It was some type of fight that was going on.
He got the Gucci. He got the Louis Vuitton tights on.
Tights is crazy.
The Louis tights with the throwback like bootleg jersey or bootleg tee with some with the gloves and the vest on. He looked like he about to ride a motorbike.
My God!
Shouts out to Ricky. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that we've always rocked with.
That's right. I'm a neighborhood legend.
That's right.
Neighborhood legend.
That's the man. But all right. So that we all gave our mainstream Black Rasslers of the week. I keep saying week. Black Rasslers of the year.
Week.
Every week. Now it's time to go to our indie picks. Mimi, you're first up. Who you got?
He is just
shit.
the best. He is the best heel on the face of the planet.
I like it.
I remember seeing him going to an independent show and seeing him, and the entrance alone warranted for you to stop, look, and watch.
Look and watch.
He is so for me, I love the mixture of old school and new school, and he is the perfect blend.
Facts. Big facts.
In all aspects, in the ring and as a character, and he stays dastardly.
He does.
Darius Carter. Darius number one.
Dick.
He is the best.
The All
Father. That's right. Yes.
Shit, man.
Yes.
He just got that face.
Yup. He has really taken his craft and just taken it to the next level. He understands the foundation of wrestling as it comes to his character and as it comes to his performance, and I love it. And I can watch him all the time.
Lord Steven Neagle.
That's him. That's him.
Amazing.
The Lord.
No, that would be hard.
It's an event. It's an event when you see that brother, man.
Love him for real. And go check out that interview that we did with him. Good time. He was talking all types of shit.
Check it out.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of interviews, so my indie pick this year almost made me cry on goddamn camera. They gave me an answer. I was like, hold on, that ain't what I was asking you. Had one of the dopest independent matches I saw with Myron Reed live in effect. He does things that big men aren't supposed to do. This guy, he was so good this year. I picked the Eagles fan as my black independent wrestler of the year, and I would never do anything like that.
Corey is funny.
The Viking Raiders?
That's the next line. That's the next round. Sorry, fam. Sorry.
Listen, you watch the folks that he got in the ring with this year. I mean, he was busy all year.
Yeah.
Killian McMurphy, all sorts of things. That and Dino. Listen, he was all over the place this year and is one of the least talked about guys that should be talked about much more. I'm talking about Brother Grimm. You know what I'm saying? One of the illest folks. Listen, if you ain't seen it, shameless plug, man, go check out the interview I did with Grimm. Grimm talk, and Grimm needs to be heard. But if you watch his matches, you have to realize he does things that fellas just ain't doing at his size, man. So shout out to Grimm, man. Grimm is dope.
Grimm is dope as shit, and I don't think Grimm gets the credit that he should for being as dope as he is.
Correct.
Sorry.
This is who you got, brother.
And that ain't because he almost took your coffee this year.
Grimm, I'm like, man, this motherfucker here. Grimm right there. So I said, what's going on, yo? You know what I mean? He like, oh, what's up, man? You know, just a cool motherfucker. I wouldn't fuck with him if I didn't, you know what I mean? But he's a cool motherfucker for sure.
Nah, he's the most rational Eagle fan I ever met in my life.
Love it.
God bless. God bless. My pick, yo, it's one thing when I watch wrestlers, like you always see like the people who kind of father their style. With this guy, it's like he's the first, because we had a Too Cold, you know what I mean? We had it Too Cold. He fathered everybody. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Too Cold fathered everybody. But
Too Cold from Breaking Bad.
Son, yo. Tight. God. Like, I don't, to me, it is very rare to see a black guy who is a high flyer.
Right.
Like, it's when I see him, he epitomizes what I think a high flyer is. Like, he's super dope in the ring. And you can tell that from the J Cup and them winning him and his partner winning the IWGP junior, I think it was junior tag titles. He is one of the original Black Rasslin fans. This is not one of the reasons why I picked him, but he's an OG that hopped in and gave us props from the start. So we've been following him for years, but to see him move from the independents to overseas and then to come home and be in the Impact, Kevin fucking Knight. Kevin Knight is one of the guys, dog. Seeing him last month jump over a clothesline.
That was stupid.
Unreal. Unreal.
I watched that live.
He jumped over a clothesline. I've never seen that. And it's just the shit that he does. And I'm like, yo, that's a high fly. Not a nigga that do high flying moves.
Not just a flippy nigga.
Yes.
Right. Right.
He flipped with purpose.
Yes. And I love it, yo. Kevin Knight, my guy, for 2023.
Indeed.
Who's know? Barb's know.
The Barbs definitely know. Honestly, if I go through my picks this year, this choice was probably my toughest decision, primarily because there's so much dope black talent on the indie circuit. But it was really just trying to figure out what indie Black Rassler really like made that statement for me in 2023. And again, just hearing this conversation, I like the idea that there's a person that not only wants to make their mark in the scene, but they want to set a table for people. We've had conversations about where we've seen people do certain things because this person put on a show that feels like it's about to be a moment. Hell, just the other day, and I'm gonna be frank with you, Mimi's pick is the number one Darius. That's it. That's the number one Darius. I ain't gonna hold you.
Period.
When I saw Darius number 2, Darius Lockhart drop that video where he was calling out Darius Carter for the Ashe match on February 24th in North Carolina, or wherever, I believe it's going to be in North Carolina. I was like, nah, Darius ready. This the Darius that I remember when we had him back years ago on the pod, having the revolutionary, having that conversation. You could see it then, and it's been beautiful. Again, we spoke so in depth about, and Mimi wrote in depth about the presentation and the representation. And I don't know, shouts out to all the black indie promoters out there. There's a lot of folk that do a lot of great work that people are always looking forward to. The conversation around that Ashe show felt different. It felt different. And it was to the point where people were chomping at the bit trying to get to whatever that date was going to be for the February show. We got it now. You better lock in, because I don't. Brother Darius Lockhart, he got something. He got something, and it's beautiful to be able to see him get to that point where he's able to do for himself, but also do for his people, which I know is really the key for him. So that's why he secured my pick for the indie wrestler of the year.
Hey, real quick, just because who should be talked about specifically, who didn't make any of our picks this year, but shout out to the journeyman Sugar D, man, Sugar Dunkerton, winning and breaking Trisha's streak, making that title once again one of the very important titles on the scene that needs to be talked about. And he's already out here lining them up and knocking them down. And you know what I'm saying, as far as competitors, man, shout out to Suge for really putting on for Black Pro Wrestling. And
that's fact.
I don't know about like the best, but I like to have that important conversation.
100%.
And I feel like we'll see it next year, but he's one of the more important black independent pro wrestlers.
All together, that shit is gonna be something, dog.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, remember he was in the first Ashe match. I mean, or first Ashe show. It's only a matter of time before he should be defending that title. I imagine on an Ashe event at some point. But yeah, he was in the running. Trust me, Suge D was in the running for my pick because that the entire situation around that win was very important. But
that the Ashe shit, and we've seen a lot of black shows throughout the years, but that show was so good that it was like we gotta be at the next one.
It just felt different.
It felt different to the point where you like, yo, what's the date?
What's the date?
It wasn't a we gonna catch the date when we need to know the date now.
Right now.
Get our plans right to move. That's how real it is. Shout out to Lockhart, man.
Yeah.
He's still Darius number 2, but shout out to Lockhart.
Yeah, no, he is still number 2. We'll see what happens in February.
Everybody's picks was fire.